So you've just seen one of those scam pop-ups, or you've got a phone call or an email which is obviously from a scammer. So how can you get back at these scammers and hit them where it hurts most, in the pocket? This is a guide from the very simple to the quite sophisticated in how you can hit back at those scammers.
Critical alert from Microsoft.
So let's start with the really easy ones, an email scam. So you've been given something which has got all the hallmarks of a 419 scam, but you haven't got the time to scam bait this person. Wouldn't it be ideal if there was something online where you could get someone to do all the scam baiting for you?
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm an artificially intelligent email bot made to reply to scam emails.
I'm anyone
and no one,
as far as scammers will know.
I'm you.
I adopt one of my many personalities
to continue the conversation of any would-be victim.
I waste their time with a never-ending series of questions and anecdotes,
so that they have less time to pursue real people.
Yes, the clever people at rescam.org have created an artificially intelligent scam bot. It will keep those scammers occupied when you don't have the time to do it yourself. And all you need to do is forward the scam email to me at rescam.org.
just like you. I make typos and jokes that no one appreciates.
So once you've forwarded that scam email, you can sit back and relax in the knowledge that this scammer will be chasing his tail for quite a while. Simple but very effective.
Scammers are always adapting their techniques, so we are too.
So take a look at rescam.org, and the link is in the description below for exactly how this all works. If you have a bit more time in your hands, try and look at the advice under scam baiting tips in 419eater.com. You might even be able to bag yourself some real trophies. But what if you see a fake virus pop up? What should you do? Well, Microsoft and Google have made it very easy to clamp down on these websites. If you use Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer, look for the Send Feedback option on the menu. You should be able to find Report Unsafe Site, and when you click the button, just tick one of the two boxes. Either it's a phishing site or it contains a malicious or fake pop-up, and then just enter the CAPTCHA. Once complete, Microsoft will analyse your submission and hopefully they'll block the site. If you've got Google's Chrome browser, then there's no settings where you report this. You have to open up a web page under Google, and it's called safebrowsing.google.com, and you'll find it will ask you for the URL. So if you paste in the URL, and you have to fetch it from the original website, so I put that in, click on I'm not a robot, and you can optionally add comments. You might say it's a tech support scam, and submit report. What will happen is Google will take that submission, compare it with others, check it out themselves, and eventually bar the block the website. And what you should find, and in this case I tried about 12 minutes after I submitted this to Google, I found that the deceptive website is now flagged. But scammers have lots of websites, so how does this affect them? Well, recently I set myself up as a scammer to understand where all the costs come in. There's a link to that particular video below, but by far and away the biggest cost is advertising. No one's going to see your pop-up if it isn't advertised. And this is where it will really hit the scammer hard. If they set up their pop-up aimed at a particular country, and they've geared up their call centre to receive calls at certain times, and you've just flagged their web page, they're not going to get any hits. And even better, if you can give all the information about the pop-up and the phone number and submit it to scammer.info, the only calls they'll get are from people who are going to scam bait them. There's some very good advice already on scammer.info about how to make these guys really pay. And of course, the earlier you can flag the web page, the more effective it will be. But if you want to cause maximum damage, it's the time to wheel out the virtual machine. You can let the scammer safely connect to a machine you control and can monitor. Not only does it give you a way of letting the scammer think you're a real victim, It allows you to target one of their main weak points, their payment gateway. Yes, if you can make them reach the end of their scam and demand payment, they may get desperate, particularly if you've given them a fake credit card number and revealed some personal information like their name and their bank account number. But more often you'll have a payment website and you can take the information on this website and contact the administrator. All you need to do is take a note of the URL that the scammer's using.
There's going to be a one-off payment that I told you, PayPal. I think you know about PayPal.
When I contacted PayPal's fraud department, they did a bit of investigation and very quickly banned this account. I just quoted the name of the company and they did the rest. But it's not just payment gateways where scammers make illegal use of software. Here a scammer has used the remote access software called FixMe.it. It's a little bit like the more commonly used TeamViewer or Fast Support. And like those other products, there's clauses for using their software which exclude misleading or fraudulent use. So when I contacted TechInline, the makers of FixMe.it, I got one of the coolest replies I've ever had. Jason Richards from FixMe.it support replied within 24 hours of seeing my video. He said that seeing the video completely made his day, and he very quickly found out exactly who was using their software for fraudulent use, and he immediately suspended the account on a permanent basis. He even sent me a $20 Amazon gift card. How's that for cool? So if you can make clear recordings and send them to the right people, you will get results. But if you're going to use a virtual machine, make sure it's set up right. I've left a link to one of my earlier videos which describes how to make a stealthy virtual machine. If you don't do this, chances are the scammer will look at what he's dealing with and disconnect. But one of the most powerful tools you'll have at your disposal on a virtual machine to hit back at scammer is the keylogger. The one that I use is from BestX Software, again linked below, and the reason why I use this is it logs both key presses and clipboard. And the reason why the clipboard is really important is if you can persuade the scammer to do lots of work on your PC, even if it's unattended, the chances are you're going to pick up some very valuable information which will help you identify who these people are and potentially even other victims. And if you can access some of their accounts, there's even a chance that you could refund some of the victims. I've seen this done by other people in the past. But surely the ultimate but probably most technically complex is to get remote access to the scammer. On several occasions now, scammers have got me to access their PCs first, just to get around some of the blocks that the likes of TeamViewer have placed on their machines for incoming connections from India. But although I've been able to download several files from scammers in this way, surely the ultimate is to have remote access at all times that the scammer doesn't know about. That would require downloading, or rather uploading, a file that the scammer has to run at their end. It's called a Remote Access Tool, or RAT. To deploy a RAT on a scammer's machine requires a bit of social engineering, for example persuading the scammer to run an executable that would give them access to their bank account. So what can you do with a RAT if it gets installed? I've linked to a video from a guy called Coco who installed a RAT on a scammer's PC and it managed to spread around the entire call centre. A RAT lets you do everything as if you were on the inside of the call centre, including listen to microphones, download any file that you want, and have full access to everything within their LAN. So let's listen in on a scammer who doesn't realise that someone's listening to his conversation.
Thank you for calling Online Technical Support. You're talking to Kelvin. How can I help you?
So what you're looking at here is all of the information the scammer has on his screen as he calls people, and he wants to fill this whole thing in. You can't hear the victim's voice, only the scammer's mic.
Okay. So is it coming on your laptop or is it coming on your desktop computer?
Their scripts are always the same.
And what were you doing on it, ma'am, when you got this message?
Clearly this victim has spotted one of their pop-ups.
Oh my god, I guess it's a critical problem which came onto your computer, so there will be a one-time charge to fix it. Will that be okay with you?
Here, Coco takes control of the scammer's keyboard.
So let me just go ahead and check the system configurations of your computer, right? Just give me 1 second, okay? Like, please leave your mouse, okay? Did you touch anything?
Because the scammer has already got access to the victim's PC, what you see being typed is Coco and the scammer trying to wrestle control of the keyboard.
I know what you're doing, ma'am. I know what are you doing here. What you are doing exactly, okay? I know that, ma'am. You don't need to do that, ma'am. Okay? I know everything, ma'am. Yes, you are not doing anything. That's fine. That's right.
The scammer was completely convinced that it was the victim who was scam baiting him, not someone with remote access. But the real power of a rat means that because you have full access, you can find out exactly who these scammers are and where they're from. Coco was able to download files which indicated their salaries and their location. You'd be able to find out everything a cybercrimes team would need to make arrests in a call centre. However, it's very unlikely that this sort of evidence could ever get used because the use of a rat is undoubtedly illegal in most countries. So I've gone through a number of techniques which anyone can use, from the very simple to the very sophisticated, to help hit back at scammers. But if you have your own techniques for getting back at scammers, I'd love to hear about them. Please comment below. Finally, I have a few thank yous to make. The first one is from Please Subscribe Dad, who made that little logo for me, and from Anna Kate, who made the background music for this video. Thank you both very much indeed. And to everyone who assists me via Patreon, there's a link in the description below and a few names on the screen. Thank you everyone.